Sorry guys, if you watched the first one, you would see this is where I stopped. I received a call, so I had to, but I think I won't be interrupted because I put my phone on flight. So we'll continue with the passage. Other children playing a few yards away stopped and joined in the laughter. They loved to see Hajo screw up her face, which was already funny to look at, with its big nose, ears that stuck out like a rabbit's, and the tiny eyes were set near together under bushy eyebrows. A large black birthmark ran across the whole of her left cheek, leaving her face scarred. People often remarked that her mother must have craved for bushrat when she was pregnant. This is so hilarious. The underlined phrase illustrates the use of like a rabbit anywhere you see like or as, guys, is simile. From the passage, it is evident that other children love to ridicule Hajo. The passage is B descriptive. We've got to. I already have a mental picture of Hajo's face. 34. The mood in the passage is that of B humor. It's humor. The narrative the mood, like always know, the writer determines the tone. Now, the writer set a tone, and it's from that tone that you get to know the reader's mood. As you can see, while I was reading, I was like giggling or whatever. So it's humorous. 35. The narrative technique used in the passage is third person. 35. Yeah, it is. Other children, they, he, she. Yeah, third person. Okay, 36 to 40. Let's see this. Please, I don't know it all. Oh, like, I hope you have that in mind. We are all working together, okay? So feel free to leave your comments. I am open to corrections, okay? The weaver bird built in our house and laid its eggs on our only tree. Only tree, take note. We did not want to send it away. We watched the building of the nest and supervised the egg laying. You should have sent it away, actually. And the weaver returned in the guise of the owner, preaching salvation to us that owned the house. They say it came from west. When the storm at sea had felled the gulls, and the fishers dried their nest by something light. I can't see because of my... I wish I can move it. Its sermon is the divination of ourselves and our new horizons limits at its nest. But we cannot join the prayers and answers of the communication. We look for new homes every day. We look for new stripes to rebuild. The old shrine defiled by the weaver's excrement. That's so painful. If only they had known. They must be regretting by now. The mood of the poem is melancholic, quite sad, I think. 36, D, 37. The dominant theme is the religion. Yeah, religion. The dominant figure of speech is C, metaphor. It's metaphoric. There's no weaver. Of course, we are talking about the white men. Hope you guys are getting the drift. We are talking about the coming of the colonial masters. You understand? They are the weaver bird built in our house and laid its eggs. Its eggs are whatever they came in with. Civilization, Western culture. Hope you know. So everything here is metaphoric. Every single thing. You understand? The weaver returned in the guise of the owner. Its sermon is the divination. We look for new homes every day. We look for new stripes. These new homes is we are still trying to assert our culture and tradition. You understand that we allow the white men to. So guys, are you getting my point? So it's metaphoric. 39. The last two lines suggest regret. The old shrine defiled by the weaver's excrement. The old shrine defiled. Or is it despair? What do you guys think? I'm open to your correction. The tone of the entire poem, I think they are regretting ever letting the weaver bird in to their only tree. The old shrine. We look for new stripes to rebuild the old shrine defiled by the weaver's excrement. I'm looking at despair or hope. This despair or regrets. Honestly, I want to go with this. Despair is hopelessness. You understand? And regrets, you know, this thing that's happened can't be undone. Let's move on, guys. The lamentation of the poem is on. Please don't pick religious conflict, okay? Pick E, the advent of the white man. That is the entire story, and that is what makes 38C metaphoric. So guys, I'll stop here for this particular year. Moving on, guys, are we together? I hope you're having fun. I don't know this year too. One of those years, sure. Let's go on. What is which of following is a genre of literature? If only we have a year like this, you just ace your OBJ. Just that your OBJ is like 25% of your general marks, so you understand. And I did not also read the last 20 questions that will be on A Midsummer Night's Dream. That's for this year, the next 5 years. Okay, number 1, B. Number 2, a poem of simple rural life is D. Pastoral. Nigeria decided to keep a check on human trafficking. B. Metonymy. The use of metonymy is a word and a phrase that is replaced by another word or phrase closely associated with it. Gray hair, old, monarchy, or you can say Buckingham Palace. It represents the monarchy. The press were present at the meeting. You understand? The bar. When you say the bar, you're talking about the justice system. So words like that. So it's metonymy. 4. The use of the first person pronoun is mainly attributed to A. Autobiographical. Biography, someone writes a story about you. Autobiography, you write it about yourself. So you use I, me, my. So it is obviously you use a lot of personal pronouns. So it is the first person. Comedy evokes obvious laughter. D. Which of the following is common to all forms of literature? Language. 6C. An antagonist is D. Opposing. 8. A poem of 4 lines is D. C. Quatrain. 9. All fictional people in a literary works are called B. Characters. 10. The idea of comic relief in a work of tragedy is to ease tension. They don't bring a little comedy. People have been crying all through the movie. I just bring this man to do his mumuting and make us laugh small. 11. One of these is not an example of a prose. I'll pick letter, essay, criticism, autobiography. I'll pick C. Epic. 12. The author's in-depth knowledge of the character's mind in a narration is called E. Stream of consciousness. When the author knows everything going on in the character's mind, how the character is seeing his environment. You'll be wondering, how does the author know that he thinks that the woman's behavior to a child is wicked? Like, how does he know what he's thinking? These writers, they don't know it all. It's called stream of consciousness. 13. When she saw the dove so high above her home, she knew the worst was over. E. Symbolism. What does dove exemplify, guys? When you see dove, they are white in color, at least a good number of them. They symbolize peace. They symbolize calm, ease. I don't know, I'm sorry, there's a story in the Bible. These are people who have read the Bible, whether you're Christian or not. After I think they said when Noah, forgotten my Bible, but there's this story about Noah and the ark, and I don't know, you guys can bear me witness about Noah and the ark. And they said after everything, God sent a dove to signify that the flood was over. I don't know if you can remember, if I'm making sense, but let's move on. Yeah, a play with exaggerated ridicule and laughter is B. Farce. It's exaggerated. It's different from comedy. A technique whereby a supernatural being is suddenly introduced to resolve crisis in a drama is C. Deus ex machina. A typical example, there are so many. Let's look at Unexpected Joy at Dawn, if you've read it. At the point when Taki Moses B. Abrong thought he was going to die, at the tail end of the novel, you can remember when his sister, they thought he was in the uncompleted building that supposedly we belonged to his sister. He did not know, and his friend Aaron was dying, and the thieves had been raiding that community. So the vigilante have been up and doing. They've been vigilant, So when the other lady, that lady that sells, I forgot her name, the mama's neighbor, I forgot the name of that character, and so she told them she saw these guys in the uncompleted builders movement, and so they picked the whole sticks. They were going to kill. Enough is enough. You can't keep robbing us at this place. And is it not Ijesha, right, or Ilesh? I forgot the name of the community. And at the point when he said, that is it, I'm gone, it's okay, everyone, let's die. And he just cited Joe. He now cited someone that looked like his sister. That is a typical example of Deus ex machina. You understand? It's more like a supernatural being coming in to take charge. Just came in to save the day. So that's about that. Personification of animals in a literary work is called bee fable. A literary work with deep-rooted meaning embedded in words is D, poetry. The beginning, it's obviously poetry. Poetry is characterized by the condensed use of language, so that is the best definition. Like I said, the comment section is open, guys. Okay. The beginning of rising action in the plot development. Rising action is, of course, like you said, the rising action is the complication where the conflict is beginning to unfold. The state of mind of a poet can be described as the state of mind of a poet. Is it mood or tone? The attitude of the writer determines the mood of the poem. Of course, it's the reader that determines the mood, but the tone sets the pace, the language used. Whenever you hear a poet, I love to associate it with tone. I would go with E, I'm not exactly sure, but I want to go with E, 20, an expression whose meaning is not interpreted literally is called idiom. 21, in a literary work, when an idea is to be emphasized, E, repetition is used. 22, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it. It's absurd. We know paradox is characterized with absurdity. Literary works are classified in two genres. E, the beauty of poetry lies in its A, language. Oh God, I love poetry. Not so much. In poetry, another name for enchantment is D, run online. 26, when a work of art creates images and pictures in order to do that, it uses B, imagery. A ridicule of human vices with corrective intention is E, satire. The play Blood of a Stranger is set in D, Sierra Leone. A piece of information supplied at the beginning of a literary work is D, prologue. A prose is usually written in B, paragraphs. Okay, 31 to 35. I'm running here so that we can, I have one more year after when I get to 40, another 40. The teacher's stomach made a grunting noise like the sliding movement of a snake. His intestines protested the long abstinence imposed on them. That's sad. Simultaneously, Nebe yawned. A long, protracted yawn which brought tears to his eyes. As he put out his hands to wipe the tears, he was stopped right in his tracks. The angle of narration is the teacher, Nebe, the teacher, as he. That will be the third person. That's one E. A grunting noise, grunting, words suggesting meaning. B, onomatopoeia. Nebe is, this is simultaneously, it means two things were happening. And I think there are two different persons. One, the teacher. Two, Nebe. So, obviously, if we have a teacher, then there's obviously a student. So, 33D, the comment section will be open. The mood in the narrative is that of a deprivation. That's sad. The most suitable title for the passage is B, hunger strike. Okay, all the walls will give way. Okay, let me start. All the walls will give way to the fury of our feet, and no one will falter in the long day's march, which waits for the blood to devour the dust of the roads. Drunk with our shouting, we shall darken the landscape from afar. From the penal colonies, we shall at last smile up at the starlight. Penal colonies, penal colonies. It's where people are kept to be punished. You understand? People are isolated. It's associated with the British. Now the person that wrote this poem, I've forgotten what is that his name. Onesimus something. He's from Cape Verde, right? And I know that was the type I know it's Onesimus because I've read this poem in my book of African poetry, that Wole Soyinka's collection. I have it. I have seen this poem. It's Onesimus something, and I know he's independent poet. He wrote about, and I think they were colonized by the Portuguese, right? I can't say much. I don't have much information to have an opinion about this poet, but I know he's from Cape Verb. Keep. Okay. Sorry, I can't pause it to confirm, but I want to believe it's Onesimus something. Someone can comment. Yeah, the tone of the poem suggests be independence rally. Independence rally, obviously. They're trying to darken the landscape from afar is B, mass crowd effect. The subject matter of dash D, quest. Yes, quest. They want to be free. Shouting is the text exemplifies the use of. Drunk with our shouting. Drunk, how can you be drunk with shouting? Okay, but it's just the shouting there now. Shouting. Drunk with shouting. Is it personification? Inanimate object, human attributes. Or onomatopoeia. I am not sure. I want to go with personification. But if you I want to go with D. Or is it onomatopoeic? I'm not too sure. The whole poem is written in enjambment, one on line. You can see how one line runs into another. All the words will give way to the feel. There is no pause. So guys, this is another year. I hope it's been helpful. I think I have one more year, so I'm sorry, please. You see my very disorganized gallery. I stumbled on this one blog, stcharlesedu.com. So, you could see their watermark or whatever they call it. So let's look at it together. Okay, are you ready? So I stumbled on it. Of course, none of them are mine. One, I snapped it with my phone. And this one, I saw it on a blog. For 5 minutes, Ikenna stood with his unprintable grin on his face. With this unprintable grin on his face. When Debbie appeared before him. What? I mean, what's that look? She asked him. You mean you are Debbie? My internet lover? Are you disappointed? No. You are a beauty queen, trust me. But your image on the screen was far too magnificent. Debbie wobbled to another side, saying, I thought we were truly in love. Ikenna unconsciously uttered aloud to himself, Fate, you weren't fair to me this time. Good for you. Not all that glitter is gold. Okay, number 1. The literary device used in the last statement of the passage is it's fate. He uttered it aloud to himself. Unconsciously. So it is soliloquy. Another thing, he is addressing fate. And fate is not a living thing. So it is a apostrophe and soliloquy. 2. The most suitable caption for the above passage is A. Irony of internet love. Okay, sorry. That's Debbie wobbled to one side suggests that she is C. Deformed. No, you are a beauty queen. As used in the passage, is an example of euphemism is, when something offensive or harsh, you say it in a mild way, like she's been put in the family way, blah, 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 blah. I think you are a beauty queen, but litote is an understatement too. Let's go with litote. And litote, we use a lot of no and not in litote. Litote and meiosis. It's an understatement. That is litote. Example. Mr. Ikenna is honest, especially with things not associated with money. You understand? The weather is not unfriendly. You understand? The weather is not unfriendly. It's an understatement. Instead of you going and saying same plain, the weather is horrible, the weather is this, you say the weather is not unfriendly. You understand? It's more of an understatement where you use the not and the positive. I want to go with litote for this number 4. Other than euphemism. There's no exaggeration here. This can be hyperbole, but I'm open to your observation, guys. 5. The first underlined expression suggests that Ikenna was. Let's look at it. Oh, sorry, this way. Ikenna stood with this unprintable grin on his face. Confused, obviously. Ikenna was A. Confused. 6. When a meaning intended by a speaker is misunderstood by the audience, it is called not double meaning, not dramatic irony, not... Is it just irony or understatement? Let's go with E. Verbal irony. Or just irony. I'm not too sure. Yeah, verbal irony. 7. The following are techniques employed in drama. Except D. Stanza. The material worn by characters on stage are called C. Costume. A dirge is to be sung, while elegy is to be no dance. D. Recited. That's the closest answer. In O, the tone is usually D, praising. A poem of lamentation is known as A, elegy. A character who grows and develops during the course of the play is E, round. A dramatic technique by which a character speaks his thoughts alone on stage is called E, soliloquy. A song used to lull a baby to sleep is called lullaby. 14D. The dropped as by a thunderstroke. I don't understand it. They dropped as by a thunderstroke, or like a thunderstroke. I'm not as. They dropped, as by a thunderstroke. There's no comparison here. So even if there's as, please, you shouldn't pick simile. Always ensure that you understand. The as or like is used to compare. You understand? Are you serious? You understand? Always ensure. Like, ensure that you submit your assignment as and when due. The as there is obviously not simile. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. I don't know if the sentence has a problem itself, but by a thunderstroke is obviously an exaggeration. I don't think any sound can be compared. So let's go with 15A. She is healthy as a sickler. She's as healthy comparison. She's as healthy as a sickler. A sickler is, of course, when you're sickly, you are not as healthy. You are not healthy. So this person is trying to be ironic. 16B. Epilogue is used at D, C, end. The use of mental object to create effect in poetry is B, imagery. We wander in a whole war. You can see the repetition of war sound, A, alliteration. And the name died before the man. That's so sad. C, paradox. It's absurd. How can the name die before a man? It means your reputation. His reputation, when someone's reputation was long dead. You know, paradox, a statement that on the surface level they sound like off. How can the name of someone die before the person himself? Like, I'm sure you're wondering, what sort of boring statement is that? You get? But, I'm sorry I have to yawn. But, you know, it has a deeper meaning. Someone's reputation can be dragged into the mud even before the person is long gone. You get? So it's actually true. So paradox. An epitaph is C, an inscription on a tombstone, on a tomb. Okay, it's okay, on a tomb. 22. As he knows what you reveal, so does he know what you conceal is B. A short witty saying is epigram. Pick the odd one out of the following. Tragedy. E. A list of characters, and they are all literary devices or techniques or whatever. But tragedy is a kind of drama. So it's not part of it. So it's the odd one. A list of characters in a play is B. Cast. A character who creates a comic scene in a play is known as A. Clown. A sonnet comprises of 14 lines. Oh, these questions are so cheap. You guys should pray for a year like this. So, when two contrasting events occur simultaneously during the course of narrating a story, it is referred to as A. Analog. 28. The point of resolution of conflict is D. Denouement. Some say denouement. I don't know. But English say denouement. But they said it's a French word, so it's denouement. Whichever way, don't be confused, is D. In a poetic line, two or more words which follow one another and have similar sounding last consonant is similar sounding last consonant. It is consonant C. Black stack. A black rack stack. Similar sounding last consonant is consonance. That's something most of you don't get to be taught in school. There's a difference between alliteration and consonant. Oh, am I getting it wrong? In a poetic line, two or more words which follow one another and have similar sounding last. Yes, similar sounding last. I want to think it's 29 is C. But if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. I'm just seeing these questions. An epic is a poem that commemorates birth, celebrates poetry, commemorates national festival, mourns the dead, praises a hero. Most time they praise a hero. 30E. 31. The summary of a short account of a story is called the D. Synopsis. The use of deliberate synopsis, right? Yeah. Exaggeration. B. Hyperbole. A deliberate statement that hurt the feeling of another is D. Sarcasm. A novel is usually written in A. Chapters. The three genres of literature are drama, prose, and poetry. 35b. Okay, on this dirty patch, a tree once stood, shedding incense on the infant corn. Its boughs stretched across the heaven, brightened by the fire of a tribe. Oh, that's intense. They sent surveyors and builders who cut that tree, planting in its place a huge senseless cathedral of doom. The underlined word means a cathedral is a building. A building. It's a massive, magnificent building. That's why sometimes some churches are referred to as a cathedral. But please don't pick church. It's a building. It's usually massive, magnificent, flamboyant, and whatnot. The poem is written in a blank verse. The theme of the poem is see ethnic cleansing. We could see across the heaven, brightened by the last fire of a tribe. So I think it was more like ethnic cleansing. The underlined word is an example of, in this case, senseless cathedral. I think a part to represent a whole and a whole to represent a part. Is it? Or play on words? Personification? Metaphor. Yeah, I think it has to do with comparing two unlike things. Let's go with B, metaphoric. The tone of the poem is lamentative. They're not happy with what happened. A tribe was wiped away. So, please, my comment section will be open, guys, okay? I hope it was helpful. Please subscribe. Please comment if it was helpful. You can say helpful or whatever. It's encouraging, I guess. So, subscribe. This is just little I have. There are poems I haven't treated. I haven't treated Caged Bird, Bingse Poplars, The Good Morrow, Black Woman. Oh, Leopold Sedar Senghor. I love that poem. I'm surprised I've not done it. So many. NECO. Literature is August. In fact, for art students, it's your last paper. And we still have small time. I'll do something this week, hopefully. I wanted to do a video where I get to show my face, but my camera is so blurred. So I'll just create a PowerPoint, you get, and I get to just talk. I think you guys like it this way. If you want to see my face, you can say I should show my face. Maybe. But personally, I don't know what you think. I think it's okay. The entire idea is to learn, right? You don't need to hear my voice. So please subscribe, okay? Thanks to all my 300 plus subscribers. Thank you. It's a work in progress. I'm so tired. Okay, so please subscribe, and my comment section will be open. If you have a year of NECO, you could screenshot it. Maybe you have one that you want me to answer, OBG. Please screenshot it and send it to the comments. Am I making sense? You understand? So that I can now see it and I'll answer and post. I beg you, if you have NECO years, if I use Adobe Scan, it will be clearer. Screenshot it in a way that it will be as clear as this one. I use my Adobe Scan with my small Android phone here, and it's quite clear. You understand? I would, even if it's WAEC, you understand? But basically NECO, since NECO is coming first. But immediately NECO is WAEC. So even if you have WAEC, okay, WAEC I have as many years as you want to think of. So don't worry about WAEC. But NECO, that's the one that's quite scarce. So you guys should screenshot it, okay? Send it to me. If we can't send pictures via comments that you like to have my number, you have some years you want to send, I'll personally send my number to you, okay? So subscribe. Thank you so much. I hope you learned a lot. Feel free to it's okay to have dissenting views. I'm open to it, okay, to some of the answers provided. So we are all here to learn from each other. Thank you so much. Bye. Subscribe. Please don't just watch. Encourage me. Subscribe. It won't take anything from you. I'll stop this now. Thank you. So I'll be posting a lot of poems. Calm down. A lot is coming your way this coming week before NECO. So please don't leave these sites. Put your notifications on so that you will know. Thank you.